I've been found guilty, not because I committed crime, because she's punishing me for my political views and using a non-existing criminal matter which is not there. Let me school you a little bit without fighting, so that when you are at holidays, like Senzo Mukunu, you reflect on this thing, but don't announce any dissolution of PKTT. We apply for 174, me and Adrian, 174, to be discharged after the state closed its case. We say the state has not built a case against us, therefore discharge us. She refuses to discharge us and says, when you refuse to give 174, you mean there is a case you must answer. Fair enough. We say, okay, that's fine. I will take the stand and answer my case, which I did. Adrian refuses to answer the question. He says, no, I'm not going to take a stand. In fact, the ballistic expert will answer the case on my behalf. In fact, the gun law expert will answer the case on my behalf. In the judgment, you say that ballistic expert of Adrian did not answer the question. He was the most useless person, which means Adrian did not answer the question even through the ballistic person. Then you say, shame, the gun law expert is such a good gentleman, and yes, he contributed in the formulation of the gun law, and I can take it that far. Other than that, it's not being useful to me, which means you are dismissing that person who was answering on behalf of the Adrian. The question you said Adrian must answer is still not answered. Because you said Adrian has got a prima facie case to answer, which has been built by the state. He still doesn't answer that question. You say, no, discharge, go home. Why didn't you give him 174 at the beginning? Because you said he didn't. There's a question to be answered. He still doesn't answer that question. You say discharge. So that's a level of madness you are dealing with. An extreme incompetence. We are preparing now for a pre-sentencing trial. She still has not provided a written judgment. The social worker who prepares for my pre-sentencing trial, she's looking at the judgment through YouTube. That's the justice I'm faced with. I have to go and then appear on the 23rd and argue why I must not be sentenced. I've got nothing written. When she discharges Adrian, she just says, accused number 2, not guilty, you can go home. But she doesn't say you are not guilty on this charge because the state failed to prove this case in that they could not provide 1, 2, 3, 4 on this one. On this one, the state did not do 1, 2, 3, 4. She knows if she does that, she's now punching holes on the state case. And that applies on Malema. And I can't punch state holes, case holes for Malema because I need Malema for racism because I've got emotional attitude against Malema and I need to punish him for so many things I don't agree with him. And therefore, I'm not going to venture into the reasons why I gave accused number 2 not guilty verdict. Was seated here, will still not give reasons why accused number 2 was given a not guilty verdict. Because those reasons apply on me. You said accused number 2 gave me a gun. When you discharge accused number 2, it means you are now releasing the gun, which you say I've used to commit crime. A gun used to commit crime, once you are found guilty of using that gun, it gets seized by the state. It's no longer returned to you. A gun used to commit crime can never be returned back to the owner. So as I'm standing there, and when you are sentencing me, where is that gun you are saying I used to commit crime. Where is it? As I'm standing in this box, you are sentencing me. Where is the gun? The only gun that remains in that court is the gun I provided to the magistrate, which is a toy gun. Adrian, funny enough, Adrian was called a day before by the prosecutor before judgment was passed. Adrian was called a day before by the prosecutor to come the following day where judgment was going to be passed, to come and fetch the gun. How did the prosecutor know that Adrian was not going to be found guilty and therefore he's got a duty to release the gun? The gun is released as we speak. Remember, you found me guilty with this gun. As I'm standing here, the gun should be standing next to me.